Hey everyone, it's XPlayMan, and we've got ourselves an announcement from 0 Hour. Finally, we've heard something. It's been a while since we've seen or heard anything about 0 Hour since Operation Magna, and this one is so nice. It's titled Quality of Life Update. It sounds good just to see that title, because we've seen a lot of content get dropped, and then the support afterwards has it's been there for a little while and then kind of, nothing. I remember there was a patch that came out that every single item listed on there that said was fixed was not fixed. Yeah, it's been, Operation Magna has been kind of rough compared to everything else. Where it says quality of life update, there it is, bam! Oh, good to see those words up there. We have been working hard on implementing quality of life improvements, and things like this take up a lot of research and feedback we receive throughout the year. We've been getting responses about how we only provide content and very few quality-related updates, so we are changing that. This is why we are writing this announcement. We will give more information with updates very soon. Please note, this is an update which will be coming out in multiple patches. When we will be adding the quality of life updates, we'll announce the update coming in December, January soon, which will consist of the next major operation. That sentence was a little bit funkily written, but it sounds like the quality of life updates are first. Anti-cheat. This is something we've been researching since the beginning. Through this, we have found that the Denuvo Anti-Cheat would best cater to our needs. Their quality and services are beneficial to the game greatly and will make the players have a much better online experience in 0 Hour. The Anti-Cheat update will be coming out in the next upcoming patches. We will be releasing more information soon. Their quality and services are beneficial to the game greatly. That was like a funkily worded sentence. This is where it gets followed up with, we are integrating Denuvo, the global #1 games protection and anti-piracy technology. And why that's there is a huge question. If we're adding the anti-cheat only, they're talking about the anti-piracy part. And I think this is where there's A, lot of confusion, and B, people who just don't know the difference. They look at Denuvo, the name, and assume that the sky is falling. Denuvo is a product from Denuvo, well known by gamers for the DRM, which the Denuvo product is Denuvo Anti-Tamper. That has been widely reported by many outlets for reducing performance significantly, sometimes by 30% or more from the game itself. It just taking away frames, especially on lower performance computers, or how like it's more recently been known for in the news. They didn't renew their domain name or SSL certificate or something like that took down their servers, and game titles were not playable, all because of not renewing a certificate. Or more recently, because Intel is releasing their Alder Lake CPUs, how the anti-tamper software will detect the efficiency cores and performance cores that are in the new Alder Lake CPUs as two different systems. It'll act as if you're trying to, you're pirating the game because you're running the same game license on two different systems at the same time. So yeah, not a lot of good things to say about the anti-tamper. The anti-cheat is a different product. When Denuvo, or rather Denuvo, announced the anti-cheat, the Denuvo Anti-Tamper and Denuvo Anti-Cheat were bundled together, according to the press release from Denuvo. Bundled, it doesn't specify how. It seems like the Anti-Tamper and the Anti-Cheat were either things that had to work together, that's one possibility, or they had to be purchased together, and you can choose which one you can implement, one or the other. Or maybe there's a third option now, or there always was, where perhaps you could buy them separately, but you just got a better deal if you bundled them together. Because in the case of 0 Hour, they're only using the anti-cheat and not the anti-tamper that has such a bad reputation. Maybe they were able to get it a la carte, and they have the anti-cheat only here in this case. And if you take a look at other games that are using the Denuvo Anti-Cheat, they're all using the anti-tamper as well. So we don't really have any real-world experience that I could find through hours and hours of searching for anything that was using the anti-cheat only. 0 Hour might even be just the first example of a game using it. In 2019 was when they were actually releasing it. And back in 2019, they were talking about how the anti-cheat utilizes Intel and AMD to go ahead and do machine learning as well within the anti-cheat, which is going to be huge for the future anti-cheats. That is the kind of thing that the anti-cheat does for Denuvo. A lot of people kind of got the things mixed up here, talking about how Denuvo ruins their frames, and they're talking about the anti-tamper software. Look, I'm not ready to roll out the red carpet for Denuvo Anti-Tamper. Okay, they've proven that their software sucks for the DRM. With the Denuvo Anti-Cheat, there's supposedly no performance impact on their developers in the past, like including in Doom Eternal, they actually removed the anti-tamper and anti-cheat from end user backlash. They also said that the anti-cheat was not the one impacting anything, but we don't know. We've never seen them really separate from each other. What does the anti-cheat do? Well, according to Denuvo, it will detect aimbots, trigger bots, wall hacks, camera hacks, lag switches, ESP, removal, meaning like removing things that other things that are meant to protect the game itself from cheaters, making it easier to cheat in the game. Drop hacks, boosting, currency manipulation, and scripting. Also, as I mentioned before, it has the machine learning component of their anti-cheat. Now, one thing to make sure that you understand about the Denuvo Anti-Cheat is that the Denuvo Anti-Cheat does not do anything. It doesn't block anything. It only detects. That's by design. So basically the Denuvo Anti-Cheat goes ahead and says, oh, we got something here. And then it's up to the game developer to program into the game what to do when the anti-cheat detects something. And how that works exactly, I don't know. And I kind of don't want to know. I know it's security by obscurity, but the less we know about this newer anti-cheat, the better. It came out a couple of years ago. I keep thinking like 2020 is like 2019 is a couple of years ago. I mean, at this point, we're getting closer to 2022. It's almost 3 years ago. But Denuvo's anti-cheat is new enough that there probably isn't that much documentation about it widely available for anyone to write counters against the anti-cheat. And so that's a good thing as well. I'm not ready to roll out the red carpet for them either and go ahead and say everything's going to be all great and dandy, because we've seen their other software, and yeah. It's important to know that what I just said before about how the anti-cheat only detects and the game developer has to program in there what to do, because there's also been a lot of misinformation that's been thrown out there, I think just by seeing the name Denuvo. Again, I don't know that was the greatest thing to put up there in your announcement, but people were posting things inside the Discord about how Denuvo software is going to take your personal information. No, that's not how the anti-cheat works at all. It's not going to take your information. Yeah, that's no. Also, you have people talking about how performance has already been reduced. It's not in yet. This announcement was just saying that the Denuvo Anti-Cheat is coming, but it's not in yet. It's still, again, that's probably what the developers are working on right now. The other part of, okay, now we have the anti-cheat that detects. Now we got to go ahead and program what to do when the anti-cheat detects something. So yeah, it's not in yet. It's going to be about 4 to 6 weeks out from when the announcement came out earlier this week. I look forward to having an anti-cheat. The anti-cheat's only going to be in Quick Match as of right now. It is currently undecided if it's going to be in custom games. I really hope it is. I mean, without dedicated servers, we have no choice on protecting the gameplay. I just don't see how you don't include the anti-cheat on customs. At least I would prefer to have it like a toggle, but where you can turn it on or off on your whatever lobby you create. But that's going to be, if it's on all the time, I'm not going to complain. The other thing about the Denuvo Anti-Cheat being in Quick Match only, that means that you guys who play co-op are not going to be affected by this at all. When you try to go into quick match, there's actually a prompt that will come up telling you that you need to quit the game and install the Denuvo Anti-Cheat, which should happen automatically in order to play in quick matches. If you play co-op, Denuvo's Anti-Cheat will not be installed. It'll never be installed unless you actually go and try to go click on quick match and then do the quit and install. And then after the fact, after you go into quick matches, you can still uninstall it. You don't have to keep it installed if you don't want to, but the next time you go into a quick match, it's going to make you, or not really make you, it's going to prompt you, the same prompt again, telling you to install the Denuvo Anti-Cheat. Now, let's continue beyond this. Polishing gameplay is one of the focuses for the quality of life. This could be an improvement from working on animations to smoother movement and better control to fixing bugs that stayed in the beginning. We plan on fixing these issues in the next update. And once again, going back to that weird wording, this could be does not necessarily mean, at least in this case, it doesn't seem like the use is meaning that it's trying to be very generic. It could be anything. We could be working on everything about the game. Who knows? I think that the structure of that sentence is trying to convey that there are various things being worked on already, and could be more, but one of the things that they're looking on improving is animations, smoother movement, and better control. That's the kind of things that are being worked on, and then there could be more. New and improved training ground. One of the biggest elements we lack now is the ability to teach new players the important fundamentals of gameplay before they get in the match. This is why we are working on a whole new training ground with a new kill house and a whole new tutorial section. We also have plans on making this squad-based where you can get in with your fellow teammates. Giving this ability to players will give them benefits if they play in the game. Sorry, I hate to hammer this down, but I mean, like, the only reason I'm doing it is so that you guys can understand, like, when the speculation and stuff is coming from mainly awkward sentences like giving this ability to players will give them benefits if they play in the game. If they play in the game, so someone buys the game to do the training ground, and maybe they'll play the game. After they're already in the training ground, if they play in the training for new players is something that's actually been one of the bigger lacking issues as far as the core gameplay itself. There's just a lack of information presented in the game experience. One of the things that I think the game really lacks right now, as far as a new player experience goes, is training new players on the resource management system. That many new players have not figured out that the resource system exists in the first place. This is something that the training ground, the new one, can actually work on significantly. You know, teaching players how to go to the inventory system, and explaining how if you pick up a gun, how it carries over to the next round, something like that. Would be huge in the training round. Like right now, training is just kill 21 pieces of wood and you're trained. This is actually some of the work in progress stuff, I think, for the new training ground. And it looks like it's the same thing that we have now, but bigger. The dividing wall in the hallway that's inside that training ground hangar is knocked down. Instead, we have this catwalk that goes across, and it looks really neat so far, what they've put together here. Then it gets into the next operation. In our next operation, we have plans to add squad AI, where players can have AI teammates. This is still in the research phase, and we will soon update on this feature in later announcements, including new maps, guns, etc. Some of the new weapons planned are, and then it goes into the 5 different guns, which is the SKS. That looks pretty. I'm excited for that one. The P10C. This one seems to have like the most little details out of all the new guns. You can see there's a lot of like texture to it. That's a little bit more smoothed out. There's the Honey Badger. It's probably, like, looking at this model, this looks like an earlier version of the model. So there's gonna be more stuff, you know, done to that, I'm sure. The FNFAL, the FAL. That one, I think a lot of people are excited for. And then the more interesting one is this MK14. It looks like really tiny. And it's got this like letter-like shape, and I think it's gonna be really weird to use, but we'll see how practical that is when the game actually updates to this new operation with the new weapons. There's still more content coming. I think this is what they're trying to focus on in this announcement, is basically say, hey, we're gonna do some quality of life stuff first, but there is still more content coming. I'm a little bit concerned that maybe a lot of it is resting heavily on the anti-cheat being the quality of life improvement, like the quality of life improvement, because notice it said we'll announce the update coming in December, January, soon. This seems like a really short timeline to be focusing on a quality of life, and then all of a sudden an operation was releasing in December, January. I almost wonder if what this means, or what it's trying to say, is that the quality of life stuff is gonna come out, and then there'll be more announcement. That's the updates, the announcements for the next operation, and the announcements will be coming out in December, January. We're already over a week into November. I don't see how you do all of these quality of life updates and then all of a sudden, bam, here's the next operation being dropped when you're supposed to be focusing on quality of life stuff. So that's something that have not had a chance to actually get some clarification on, but that's what I think it means. Anti-cheat's a good thing. Okay, breathe. It'll be fine. Everything will be okay. Anti-cheat is a very good thing. Just chill, relax, wait. As I said earlier, I haven't seen really any real world example of Denuvo Anti-Cheat being used without the anti-tamper. So yeah, it's coming from a company with a bad history, but relax. We haven't seen this at work yet on its own. Wait till it comes out. And for God's sakes, don't talk about how there's a performance problem already and it hasn't even been out yet. All right, guys, that'll do it for me and this update on the quality of life of 0 Hour. Sub to this channel and hit that little notification bell so you can get notified when all those other videos go up for the league in 0 Hour, the IEL. And we've got some good videos coming out of there weekly, as season 2 only just started. So look forward to chatting with you guys about the future, what's coming, and hooray anti-cheat. For real. Hooray.